Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So I wanted to seek the blessings of Radha Mother, Radha Shyamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Nrsimhadev Bhagavan, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Shishi Gaunitai, Tulsi Mani Haridas Thakur, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, and Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So continuing on, Canto number 10, chapter 4. The atrocities of King Kams. This chapter describes how Kamsa.
Prabhuji, did we finish chapter 3? I think we went on the.
Yeah, we did 2 and 3 yesterday.
Oh, I thought we have a little bit of 3 was left.
No, let's just have a quick look. No, because we
didn't do Damodar Lila.
No, because we'll do that later when Damodar Lila comes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. This was just to, and we sort of explained that how Devaki is no ordinary person, and also how Krishna appeared to Yashodamai as well as Devaki, which is quite a fascinating part of it. Yeah, no, thank you. We'll do this a little later. I think chapter 15, 16, something like that. So, but thank you. You're really observant, huh? Anyone? I'm impressed. Very good. So, describes how comes, following the advice of his demoniac friends, considered the persecution of small children to be very diplomatic. So he's the original child abuser, as you know, Hiranyakashipu is. Anyway, after Vasudev bound himself with iron shackles as before, all the doors of the prison house closed by the influence of Yogamaya, who then began crying as a newborn child. So Yogamaya was with Krishna, Subhadra, and she enacted the closure of the doors, etc., and started crying. This crying awakened the doorkeepers, who immediately informed Kams that a child had been born to Devaki. Upon hearing the news, Kams appeared with great force at the place where the child was born, because this is the 8th child. This is the one that's going to kill him, according to the prophecy. And in spite of Devaki's pleas that the child be saved, the demon forcefully snatched the child from Devaki's hands and dashed the child against a rock. Wow. So Devaki was saying to him, this is a girl. Girl is not going to harm you. Leave her alone. But he didn't care. However, unfortunately for Kams, the newborn child slipped away from his hands, rose above his head, and appeared as the 8-armed form of Durga. So this is the manifestation of Yogamaya in this material world as Durga, 8-armed. Durga then told Kams, you fool, the enemy you contemplate has taken birth somewhere else. Therefore, your plan to persecute all the children will prove futile. After speaking to Kams in this way, the goddess Durga, Yogamaya, appeared in different places, such as Varanasi, and became celebrated by different names, such as Annapurna, Kali, etc. This is Yogamaya. Vasudev returned, and the guards woke up, informed Kams the 8th child was born. Kams grabbed the child, tried to throw her against the stone wall, but the child slipped out of his hands, went up in the sky, and appeared as Mother Goddess Durga with 8 arms, and told Kams that his killer is already born. What is the lesson to learn? Durga is Maya, and an eternal servant, a great servant of Krishna. She keeps us in this world because she's the prison house gatekeeper. According to the prophecy, the 8th child of Devaki would kill Kams. Therefore, when Kam saw that the eighth child was a female and heard that his so-called enemy had taken birth elsewhere, he was struck with wonder. He decided to release Devaki and Vasudeva, and he admitted before them the wrongness of his atrocities. Falling at the feet of Devaki and Vasudeva, he begged their pardon and spoke the following philosophy so that they should not be unhappy for him having killed so many of their children. So this is philosophy from Kamsa. The children have suffered their own misfortune, as all living entities are under the control of the Supreme. The bodies of all conditioned living entities are annihilated, but the living entities are unchanging and never annihilated. One who does not understand the constitutional possession of the body and the soul, Atma, becomes too attached to the bodily concept of life. As long as this continues, one continues his material life. Everyone suffers and enjoys the result of their own work under the control of providence. So this is really very good philosophy, actually. So this is from Kamsa. In the bodily concept of life, one remains in darkness without self-realization, and consequently he suffers the reactions of happiness and distress. So this is actually our condition. And Kamsa is trying to explain this to Vasudeva and Devaki, because he wants to pacify them. You know, you're suffering because of your own karma. Having said this, Kamsa immediately released them from their iron shackles. Devaki and Vasudeva, being naturally very pious, accepted the philosophy of the soul spoken by the demon. They excused Kamsa for his atrocities. So this is the nature of a devotee. Even though Kamsa had done so much harm and damage to their parivar, still they were so forgiving. And Kamsa, after seeing that his sister and brother-in-law were appeased, he returned to his home. After the night passed, however, Kamsa called for his ministers and informed them of all that had happened. The ministers, who were all demons, advised Kamsa that because his enemy had already taken birth somewhere else, all the children born within the past 10 days in the villages within Kamsa's kingdom should be killed. Although the demigods always feared Kamsa, they should not be treated leniently. And since they were enemies, Kamsa should try his best to uproot their existence. The demoniac ministers further advised that Kamsa and the demons continue their enmity towards Vishnu, because Vishnu is the original person amongst all the demigods. The Brahmins, the cows, the Vedas, austerity, truthfulness, control of the senses and mind, faithfulness, and mercy are among the different parts of the body of Vishnu, who is the origin of all the demigods, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Therefore, the ministers advised the demigods, saintly persons, the cows, and Brahmins should be systematically persecuted. This is really craziness. Okay. This comes and there's different ministers. Okay. Initially Kamsa felt sorry for his behavior. He even asked forgiveness from Devaki for killing her children. She kindly forgave him as well. But the next day, he met his advisors and they planned to kill all the children born within the next 10 days. And lesson to learn. Devaki is so great. She forgave her cousin Kamsa. Forgiveness is very important. So actually, forgiveness is important because without it, one can eat one's life up, eat one's health, destroy anything and everything that is good in us. hatred is really a horrible, horrible thing. So this forgiveness, somebody's done wrong to us, and perhaps it's due to our karma. Let's leave it at that. We take responsibility. Okay, I did something wrong in the past, and it's come to fruition now in the form of this bad karma. We take responsibility and we move on, right? Otherwise, we will stay in the same place, hating somebody and can't do anything about it. Or even if we try to do something about it, successful. So this thing about forgiveness is such an important thing. It's very hard, of course. And Devaki, can you imagine? She lost seven of her children to cancer. Six definitely, and seventh flew up in the air. And Balaram was transferred. So gone through so much pain, but yet she had it in her heart to forgive. Extraordinary. Strongly advised in this way by his friends, the demoniac ministers, the Kamsa approved of their instruction and considered it beneficial to be envious of the Brahmins. Following Kamsa's order, therefore, the demons began committing their atrocities all over Vrajabhumi. Chapter 5. The meeting of Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva. Nanda Maharaj was very gorgeously performed the birth ceremony for his newborn child. Then he went to Kamsa to pay taxes due and met his friend Vasudeva. So Nanda Maharaj was naturally magnanimous. He was the king of Vrindavan, Brajabhumi. And when Lord Sri Krishna appeared as his son, he was overwhelmed by jubilation. He had a natural jubilation, but of course, that natural jubilation expanded a million times because Krishna was born to him. He was the father. Therefore, after bathing and purifying himself and dressing himself properly, Nanda did the following. He invited Brahmins who knew how to recite Vedic mantras. They recited auspicious Vedic poems which purified the environment by their vibration. He arranged to have the Vedic birth ceremony celebrated for his newborn child according to the rules and regulations. He also arranged for worship of the devatas, demigods, and forefathers. Interesting. See, Krishna's father himself gave full respect to the devatas and the forefathers. He gave 2 million cows. Wow. Completely decorated with cloth jewels to the Brahmins. He also gave them 7 hills of grains covered with jewels and with cloth decorated with golden embroidery. So this is the first day, Nand Utsav. The day after Krishna was born, Nand Maharaj celebrated his appearance. Vrindavan's many saintly villagers came to see him, congratulate the new cowherd parents. Nand Maharaj, taking advantage of the auspicious occasion, gave many valuables in charity to his guests, such as clothes, ornaments, 200,000 cows to the Brahmins. So we had 2 million. Maybe it's, well. Then Nand met Vasudeva in Mathura. What's a lesson? Always be generous with your words, with the deeds, with Lakshmi, especially on special occasions. There was great jubilation all over Vrindavan due to Krishna's birth. Everyone was overwhelmed with joy. The cowherd men dressed really opulently and brought presentations for the baby. The gopi wives also decorated themselves and hurried with their gifts to Nand's house. Offering blessings to Nand's child, they sprinkled the mixture of turmeric powder, oil, and water upon the birthless Supreme Lord and offered their blessings. Why does it say birthless? Krishna was just born. Of course, Krishna isn't born, he appears. He's eternal, ever existing, never ending. So when he appears, it may seem like he's born as Krishna, but that's not the case. He's always existed, always continued to exist. He may come in a baby form and then grow into a 16-year-old boy. That's his Leela. But it's never that at one point Krishna did not exist, and at another point he will not exist in the future. The cowherd men enjoyed the great festival by splashing one another's bodies with a mixture of yogurt, condensed milk, butter, and water. Maharaj Nand gave clothes, ornaments, and cows in charity to the cowherd men in order to please Lord Vishnu. Rohini, the mother of Baladev, also dressed gorgeously and received the guests. After the festival, Nand Maharaj, because Rohini was staying with Yashoda. Vasudev had asked Nand Maharaj, please look after Rohini. And she was also the mother of Baladev, very important personality in Krishna Lila. After the festival, Nand Maharaj put the cowherd men in charge of protecting Gokul. And then he went to Mathura to pay official taxes to Kamsa. In Mathura, Nand Maharaj met Vasudev. Nand Maharaj and Vasudev were stepbrothers. So Vasudev's father, Surasen, married a Vaishya girl, and from her, Nand Maharaj was born. Vasudev praised Nand Maharaj's good fortune, because he knew that Krishna had accepted Nand Maharaj as his father. Vasudev was very pleased for Nanda to have a divine child. Vasudev inquired from Nand Maharaj about the welfare of the animals and also of Baladev, who, being raised by Nanda and his wife, Yashodamai, considered them as his father and mother. Nand Maharaj informed him all about Vrindavan, and Vasudev was very satisfied by this. Although Nand expressed his grief because Devaki's many children had been killed by cows. Nand Maharaj consoled Vasudev by saying that everything happens according to destiny, and that one who knows this is not aggrieved. But this can be a little bit callous if you see somebody who is in pain or difficulty. You deserve it. It's your destiny. Of course, Nand Maharaj didn't express it in that way. He didn't mean it in that way. But it can be taken to be quite insensitive. So we have to be a little bit careful and sensitive and understand and maybe have some compassion. And perhaps we do make the point that, whatever is written in our, whatever karma we're destined to get, it will come. But we can sugarcoat it rather than give it as it is, because it can be.
Prabhuji,
Yes, anyway.
yeah, Baldev, was he not being raised by Rohini? Because
Yeah.
I know they were staying together.
Yeah.
You've written Nanda and his wife Yashoda Devi.
Yeah, of course, Rohini.
Of course, they were in the same house and the same family.
That's right. But Baladev regarded Nanda as father because there was no father figure, right? Apart from Nand Maharaj.
Yes.
Yeah. And Yashoda Mai, her nature, she was just most loving personality. So naturally, and Rohini's, she was like a princess, whereas Yashoda Mai is like a cowherd girl, like Nanda Maharaj. So Rohini's mood is somewhat different from Yashoda's mood. And Rohini's mood was perhaps a little formal towards Balaram. She understood who Balaram was. She knew Balaram is actually the Supreme Lord. And there was a little bit of awe and reverence um, in her mood towards her child. But Yashoda Mai, she would, if Balaram did something wrong, oh, he'd get it. Rohini wouldn't tell him off, never told him off. But Mother
Oh,
Yashoda, whew, she was
oh,
it.
okay.
Thank you. That was her style, that was her nature, and very loving, of course. Her mood and attitude, behavior was just, what Krishna and Balaram were just taken in by that love. Expecting many disturbances in Gokul, Vasudev then advised Nand Maharaj that as he has paid his taxes, not to wait in Mathura, but to return to Vrindavan as soon as possible. Thus Nand Maharaj took leave of Vasudev and returned to Vrindavan with the other cowherd men on their bullock carts. So we can do that. Oh, we can continue actually for a little bit more time. If it's okay with everybody, I can do one more chapter. The killing of the demon Putana. When Nand Maharaj was returning home, he saw a great demoniac woman lying on the road, and he heard about her death. So, who is this demonic personality? While Nand Maharaj, the king of Braj, was thinking about Vasudev's words concerning disturbances in Gokul, he was a little afraid and sought shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Hari. Meanwhile, comes sent to the village of Gokul a Rakshashi named Putana, who was wandering here and there, killing small babies. Of course, whenever there is no Krishna consciousness, there is danger of such Rakshashi. But since the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself was in Gokul, Putana could expect nothing there but her own death. One day, Putana arrived from outer space in Gokul, the home of Nanda Maharaj, and by displaying her mystic power, she assumed the disguise of a very beautiful woman. Taking courage, she immediately entered Krishna's bedroom without anyone's permission. By the grace of Krishna, no one forbade her to enter the house or the room, because this was Krishna's desire. Putana could understand that this child was not ordinary, but was meant to kill all demons. So there you go. There's Putana who's taken Krishna. And there's her real form. So, just a quick summary again. Putana, the witch demon, came disguised as a beautiful woman. She was sent by Kams to kill Krishna. She planned to do so by feeding Krishna her breast milk. Because she looked so beautiful, nobody suspected her, and she walked into the home of Nand Maharaj, picked up Krishna, took him to a secluded place, and began feeding him. What's the lesson? Putana was deceptive, but still allowed near Krishna. So just imagine if we are straightforward. Straightforwardness attracts Krishna. What to speak of anything else? The baby Krishna, who resembled a fire covered by ashes, looked upon Putana and thought that he would have to kill this demon, the beautiful woman. Enchanted by the influence of Yoga Maya and the personality of Godhead, Putana took Krishna upon her lap, and neither Rohini nor Yashoda objected. The demon Putana offered her breasts for Krishna to suck, but her breasts were smeared with poison. The child Krishna therefore squeezed Putana's breast so severely that in unbearable pain she had to assume her original body and fell to the ground, giving up her life. Now, Putana came when Krishna was only 6 days old. So, a 6 day old baby, what can he do? Right? Not aware of anything. But of course, this is Krishna. And he sucked the life out of Putana. The gigantic body of Putana fell down in the pasturing ground in her original form as a Rakshashi, smashing all the trees within a limit of 12 miles. Wow. The Rakshasi's mouth was full of teeth, each resembling the front of a plough. Her nostrils were deep like mountain caves, and her breasts resembled big slabs of stone fallen from a hill. Her scattered hair was the color of copper. The sockets of her eyes appeared like deep blind wells. Her fearful thighs resembled the banks of a river. Her arms, legs, and feet seemed like big bridges, and her abdomen appeared like a dried up lake. Then Krishna began playing on her breasts, just like a small child. When Krishna was playing, the gopis were pacified. Because up to now, they were thinking, what is this terrible sound? Where is Krishna? He's with the lady. And that lady has turned into a monster. And they were all really scared. Where is Krishna? Now they suddenly saw Krishna was playing. They were pacified and joyfully picked up the child. He was thoroughly washed with cow urine and then smeared with the dust raised by the movement of the cows. This is the importance given to Gomata. Her urine is used to wash the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to purify him. Of course, he doesn't need purifying, but it just shows you the importance of cow urine and the dust raised by the movements of the cows. Then different names of the Lord were applied with cow dung on 12 different parts of his body. This is known as tilak. So cow dung is as important. This is Putana. Krishna was only 6 days old. Krishna closed his eyes, suddenly sucked her milk, poison, and life out. When she fell, Putana expanded 12 miles high. There was a huge noise. The ground shook. Kamsa's forest was destroyed. So that's another thing that happened. Kamsa really liked that forest. Putna fell in that forest, destroyed it. Vajbasis was scared, came running and saw Krishna playing on Putna's body. He had promoted her to the spiritual world as mother, even though she wanted to kill him. This again shows the neutrality of the Lord. She offered him poison, he accepted it as milk, and he promoted her to the spiritual world to be his nurse, his mother, basically. For a moment, she felt motherly affection, and that was enough for the Lord to liberate her. It was a lesson to learn. Oh, her body was burned, which gave fragrance of agroor due to Krishna's touch. Lesson? Krishna accepted Putana's poison and gave her position of mother. When we serve in favorable mood, how much more Krishna will be happy. So he's neutral, but of course, a devotee's love attracts him. So if we serve Krishna in a favorable mood, loving mood, how much more he becomes happy with us. The gopis chanted names of the Lord to protect different parts of Krishna's body. May Aja protect your legs. May Maniman protect your knees. Yagya, your thighs. Achyuta, the upper part of your waist. Hayagriva, your abdomen. May Keshav protect your heart. Isha, protect your chest. The sun god, your neck. Vishnu, your arms. Urukram, your face. Ishwar, your head. Chakri, protect you from the front. May Shri Hari Gadadhari, the carrier of the club, protect you from the back. May the carrier of the bow, who is known as the enemy of Madhu, and Lord Ajana, the carrier of the sword, protect your two sides. May Lord Urugaya, the carrier of the conch, protect you from all corners. May Upendra protect you from above. Garud on the ground. Haladhar on all sides. Rishikesh, protect your senses. Narayan, your life hair. May the master of Shwetadvi protect the core of your heart, because that's Paramatma. Yogeshwar, protect your mind. Prishni Garbha, protect your intelligence, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, your soul. While you're playing, may Govind protect you. While you're sleeping, may Madhav protect you. May Lord Vaikuntha protect you while you're walking. May Lord Narayan protect you while you're sitting. May Yagya Book protect you while you're enjoying life. Wonderful, wonderful prayers. The gopis had so much love for Krishna. And these prayers actually are very powerful. And they can be also um, they can also be used to protect one's dear ones. The evil witches known as Dakshinis, Yatudhanis, and Kushmandas are the greatest enemies of children, and the evil spirits are always ready to give trouble to the body, the life air, and the senses, causing loss of memory, madness, and bad dreams. But one can vanquish them simply by uttering Lord Vishnu's name. After they chanted mantras to protect Krishna, Yashodamai best fed Krishna and then laid him in bed. He's done his work. Meanwhile, Nanda and his associates, the cowherd men, returned from Mathura. And when they saw the great dead body of Putana, they were struck with wonder. Everyone was astonished that Vasudeva had foretold this mishap, and they praised Vasudeva for his power of foresight. Inhabitants of Braj cut the gigantic body of Putana into pieces, but because Krishna had sucked her breast, she had been freed from all sins. Therefore, when the cowherd men burned the pieces of her body in a fire, the smoke filled the air with a very pleasing fragrance, agru incense. Although Putana had desired to kill Krishna, she attained the Lord's abode to have a maternal relationship with the Lord, simply because she offered her breast to the Lord. Even if one is attached to Krishna as an enemy, one ultimately attains success. What then is to be said of those who have natural devotion and affection for Krishna as mothers, and who have offered him their breast to suck or offered something very dear, as a mother offers something to a child? We are very fortunate because we can offer loving devotional service unto the Lord. Now, how powerful that is. Upon smelling the fragrance of the smoke emanating from Putana's burning body, many inhabitants of Brajabhumi in distant places were astonished. Where is this fragrance coming from? They asked. Thus they went to the spot where Putana's body was being burnt. When the inhabitants of Braja heard about the killing of Putana and the welfare of the child, they were very much satisfied. Nand Maharaj took the baby Krishna on his lap and was filled with satisfaction. Any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, had killed Putana, and who thus invests his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment for Govinda, the Supreme Original Person. So this is an investment. And what is the investment in? We are investing our hearing, which is very important to us. It's one of our currencies. Hearing about the Supreme Lord with great faith and devotion and love. We've heard this story many, many, many times. Every time you hear it, you think, wow, it's extraordinary. How Krishna is so kind and so powerful. Any questions? Any comments? We can stop there. Please.
The story of Krishna's pastimes are so enchanting.
Yes.
Always pleasant to hear. No wonder how many times to hear them.
Indeed, indeed. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. And the more you hear, the more you realize, my goodness, how
Yeah.
lucky we are. How is this luck? How has this great fortune come upon us? It's just almost unbelievable.
Mm.
How is this happened to us? We could have been anywhere, in the world, but yet he's given us some shelter at his lotus feet. Such a fantastic.
So Putna became a mother. I think she became a
No,
nurse. A
no,
nurse, isn't it? A
no.
nurse in the spiritual world.
That's right. She became a nurse, and the nurse is regarded as mother.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some of one
Yeah,
of his.
she got
Lovely.
that.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Very nice.
No, thank you, Nariman. Always so encouraging, so nice. Rianch, did you have a question? Did you want to ask something? Oh, maybe you want to do the Nishinga prayers. Okay.
Prabhu, I wanted to ask
Oh,
Hare
yes,
Krishna.
yes, Shyammalini. Yes, yes, yes.
It's about you say everything is according to our destiny.
Yes.
But sometimes bad things happen to people.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this one I don't understand. I mean, what? I really don't understand that. If
Bad
it's
things happen to good people. Is that the point?
yeah, bad things happen to good people. A lot of bad things happen.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, why would uh,
yeah, yeah.
even if that person has done something wrong in the past,
Hmm.
you know, why would bad things happen to that person if
Well, if they've done something wrong, then there's the law of karma, right? A natural law of the universe that if you do something good, you're gonna get something good in back in return. If you do something not so good, not good at all, there's gonna be a reaction to it. Yeah. Naturally, if you jump out of the window from a 10-story building, well, there's gonna be a reaction, isn't there? You're gonna break your bones, or leave your body. So that's a
yeah,
natural reaction.
no,
Um,
yeah, I understand that, but it's like you hear things, so many things happening. Some people they do black magic to other people to
mm,
and uh,
yes,
if
yes.
that would just I mean the person doing the bad thing, he's the one who is responsible. And would you say that's a like a destiny? I mean, I don't know.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I know what you mean. If somebody's got evil eye on somebody, uh,
Yes,
and of course, nowadays, nobody's really got that strength of having this evil eye. Everybody's, in order to even have an evil eye, you've got to have some shakti. So even that shakti is not there. So I don't really pay too much attention to somebody who says, "Oh, he's done black magic." Well, he ain't got a clue about any magic, let alone black magic. However, if you have bad wishes towards somebody, that will filter throughout your life in almost every activity you do. Even hating one person, can really bring somebody's consciousness so down, and it can affect every part of his life. So I agree with you that one should not, have any evil feelings towards anybody. But the question that really can confuse people is somebody's really good and something horrible happens to them. How do you justify that? How do you explain that? One is karma because done something wrong in the past life, and we don't understand the full picture and something's happened. But there's another explanation. If you look at Prabhupada's life, right? He was very rich, and perhaps even in today's terms, it must have been a millionaire, maybe billionaire, who knows. But when he joined Krishna consciousness, after some time, he lost everything. Everything was gone. Nothing was left. Even his family was gone. So, that's a bad thing happening to a good person. But actually, it's not. It's, this is, he explained it himself. Krishna took everything away from me so that I can become close to him. This was his kindness,
yeah,
his mercy.
yeah,
So there are multiple explanations on.
yeah. This one is something good, isn't it? When you go towards Krishna, when you've lost everything.
Hmm, 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 hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's correct. And the way we would look at it, if something bad happens to us, right? I mean, I know I'm really crazy. So if something bad happens to us, I know it's my fault because I've done so crazy things in my life, not just this life, previous lives. But we can also understand whatever is happening to me, the Lord has minimized it. He's reduced the reaction that I should have suffered to a minimum because he's very kind towards me, you know. So that also relieves the burden of that problem. So when we are the recipient of the bad news or the bad things are happening, there are different ways by which we can steady our mind, steady our being, so that it doesn't impact us so negatively that we lose perspective in life. And this is what the beauty of Krishna consciousness is. It keeps you grounded, it keeps you steady and focused, you know. And luckily, we have so many reminders around us, you know, the temple, the devotees, we have Prabhupada, we have, you know, the acharyas, different acharyas,
Yeah.
and we can really take shelter. And boy, oh boy, we are in a delicate position, you know, in this material world. We're in a terrible position.
Oh,
But we're lucky as well, you know, very fortunate. Is that okay, Shyamalini?
yes, Prabhu. Yeah. I mean, some of I don't. It's like you have you know when you have they do how do you call it?
So what was that again?
You know, some people they don't do when like the abuser, they abuse young girls, or they're
Oh,
like they do serial. They
yeah,
do a series of
she abused.
crimes.
Yeah.
So then, how would you explain that? I mean,
It's a,
is it?
it's a really tough one. I mean, we've heard about so much abuse that children have gone through, you know,
Yeah,
in spiritual organizations, you know. And I tell you, every time I hear it breaks my heart a little bit more. And I
yeah,
always crying, you know, I think, wow, how the hell can you allow this? How can you do this? How can you be allowed? I mean, my view is I'm really extreme, you know. I'm really, really extreme. If anybody abuses a child, he should be hanged. You know, he should be hanged.
yes,
Why should you abuse a child? What right have you got? Now, why was a child abused? I mean, we can be very insensitive and say this is bad karma. It may well be, but I think we by saying bad this is bad karma, we are excusing the perpetrator. Ah, he did it. He just he's just serving as the deliverer of the bad karma. No, I don't accept that. I'm sorry, I don't accept that. I don't.
me too. That's why I want to. I don't accept that.
I don't. I think this is just madness. It's stupidity. And it's not just that perpetrator. It's the leaders who are allowing it, and they should all be given a good thrashing, a really good thrashing. Uh,
Yeah, the law should be straight.
yeah. And the thing is, that there's so many cover-ups. You know, we've seen it in the Catholic Church. You know, they covered up for decades. So much abuse. We've seen it in ISKCON. You know, there's so much abuse.
Yeah.
We- You
You
think,
know, my friend was saying
mm,
in certain countries, the Muslim countries, where the law is very strict, so you're not, if you steal, you know, that they cut your hands. I know, I mean, I don't know, it's a bit too strict, maybe, but
yeah,
if
well,
the laws, if the law is strict, then people will be scared to do certain things.
yeah, true.
Mm.
I mean, the Vedic laws were quite strict. You know, if somebody killed somebody, then the price was death. Um, and the reason for that was you are saving that person who's committed that crime from suffering life after life by giving him that punishment in this life. So there was some compassion around that punishment.
Okay.
Cutting off hands, and I've never quite understood. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That such a punishment would deter future crimes, but that
Yeah.
sounds a little bit too aggressive. But I'm not sure what the laws of Manu, state in relation to that sort of crime. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the sexual abuse that I don't agree because
Correct. When I'm
you,
saying child abuse, I mean the sexual. I mean when you hitting and all that, okay, you shouldn't
you
be doing that at all. But when it comes to the sexual abuse, you think that's when my anger really grows, and I just
yes,
took it
I
away.
mean the victim suffers a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's mad, mad.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay, we can.
okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
everybody.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Shrimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai.